game have got to get their act together. Now, obviously, it seems ideal that if you're going up against the Patriots, that would be a prime opponent to fix whatever ails you, because they've got so many things going on within that organization right now, defensively in terms of bodies being available, offensively in terms of their inability to pass the football effectively, and to be a real significant threat offensively. All of those things you've got to concern yourself with. But in the end, if the Ravens are going to make noise come playoff time, they've got to get their passing attack together. You know that they're going to win more than their share of regular season games with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback, because he's so electrifying as an athlete and his running ability. But this is about being able to throw the football. And I think that's the one concern that no one can ignore. And we're not going to ignore. We're not going to look past until we see him show that he can do that, particularly come playoff time.
Yes, Lamar Jackson has to get to be a better passer. He started off his career in a promising way. The trajectory has not taken him to the place you'd hope he'd be at the moment. But am I worried about the offense? I don't think it's an X's and O's. Can Lamar Jackson be a pocket passer thing for them to have success? I never have thought it's that about this team. Look, they just beat the Colts. How'd the Colts look last night? Colts are good. They beat the Colts. Yes, they kept them to 10 points, but they hung 24 on them. No, Lamar Jackson has no problem beating good teams, excellent teams. In fact, he did it last year. Again, take 6 games out where the lights shone brightest. He's 25-1. 25-1 against the rest of the league. Plenty of good wins, plenty of high-scoring games. They dropped almost 40 points on the Browns. Browns are pretty good week 1. No, they can score. The offense is okay. That's not the issue. You can't make excuses like that, I don't think, if you're the Ravens. The problem is they can't beat the teams they need to beat. If you're in the AFC, you must beat the Chiefs. They're 0-3. If you're the Ravens, you must beat the Steelers. With Roethlisberger, they're 0-1. Obviously, you have to win in the playoffs. They're 0-2. Lamar Jackson, his issue is coming through when the team needs him most under pressure. It is not, and I don't think ever has been, can he beat good teams? Can their offense score points? I believe the answer is yes, although I have to admit he's struggling this year in terms of his development. You thought he would develop, at least I did, continue his development this year. That hasn't happened. I'm not worried about the offense, Stephen A. I'm worried about it's not even between the ears. I don't think Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to play the position. But I mean that the way I was questioning things about Clayton Kershaw and James Harden. Can you win when you need to? That's the issue for me with Lamar Jackson.
Well, that should be the issue. But, again, and that's why I don't know how much we'll learn from this particular game, Max, because you have to remember the New England Patriots have the 25th ranked rushing defense. So you can run on the New England Patriots. And that's with just ordinary running backs. Not a quarterback that you're wondering whether or not he's going to throw or run, but runs better than most running backs at the quarterback position in Lamar Jackson. So that's going to be very, very difficult. Remember, the Ravens got the number 1 rushing attack in football because Lamar Jackson is their quarterback and he's also their leading rusher. That was the same with them last year. Now, passing, they're ranked second to last. They've got to do something about that. You're the New England Patriots, got the 28th ranked offense, got the 28th ranked passing attack. You know what? Guess what? You're going to have to move the chains and keep these brothers off the field in order for you to have a chance to beat the Baltimore Ravens. You're Lamar Jackson. Again, we could see him do some things, but if he wins because he's running the football effectively and the Ravens are running the football effectively and we never see him throw the football, then we're really not learning anything that we did not know. The Baltimore Ravens are the number 1 defense in the National Football League. They're 8th in yards surrendered, for crying out loud. But they're top 10 defense in all the requisite categories, and they're number 1 overall in points allowed. And New England struggles to score. They're the 28th ranked offense. So I don't expect the Baltimore Ravens to lose this game. I don't expect the Baltimore Ravens not to be able to put up some points on the ground. What I'm looking to see is, can Lamar Jackson throw the football? And we really don't care even if he does it, because we want to see him do it come postseason time.
Well, look, they played New England last year with Brady, and they played Seattle with Russell Wilson, and they played San Francisco, and they won all those games. They played Buffalo, who was starting to really come on. They won all those games, and they were always scoring 20 or more points. But the regular season games, not their chief rivals, so to speak, and the offense works. Whatever you want to say, I agree. It would be nice to see him continue to progress as a passer, but they're able to score points, and they should be able to do it again against New England. I think people are reaching a little bit for excuses for Lamar, And I don't think we need to. I think he should be held to the same standard that other elite players, I mentioned Kershaw and James Harden, not just in football but in other sports, because he's a transcendent talent who is almost undefeated except when you need him most in the NFL so far.
All right, guys, well, let's have a conversation or a debate, rather, that we've been waiting to have all show long. We're going to talk about the rookie quarterbacks, the brightest in our league, because on Sunday, it's the Chargers at Dolphins, featuring a showdown of rookie quarterbacks when Tua faces off against Justin Herbert. Tua's Dolphins are 5-3 and currently in second place in the AFC East, while Herbert has at least 4 300-yard passing games, despite the Chargers' 2-6 record. Max, which one of these rookies has more of an upside?
It's a tough question because Tua's special. By the way, Burrow's special. I have to say Justin Herbert, based on what I've seen so far. I know Stephen A., the guys on Get Up were talking yesterday. You know, who does Herbert remind you the most of? And Patrick Mahomes' name came up. He's differently talented. I mean, not in ways like Burrow and Tua. Burrow is very, very accurate. Tua is very, very accurate, and Burrow can do a lot of things. But when you're just talking about measurables, like who can throw that ball down the field accurately, seemingly in all situations, it's been right from the beginning of the season. Think about the lineup of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that this guy and future Hall of Fame quarterbacks that he faced. And it's not just that he belonged. When you watch, you said he's just as good as those guys. He just touched the ball.
Wow.
He just started out. I got to go with Herbert.
Well, I don't blame you for going to with Herbert, because we've seen some spectacular things from him. I mean, I'm thinking about Dan Marino, the way I've watched him fling the football on several occasions this season thus far. But Tua's just getting started. And, you know, to have his first game against the Rams, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Brockers, and those boys, and to get body slammed to the turf and still end up being competitive, I give credit where credit is due, although he was pretty much a spectator in the first game because Jared Goff was busy turning the ball over. Last week was a different matter. It was a different ball game against Arizona. He threw for over 250 yards. He completed over 71% of his passes. The accuracy is definitely there. It's going to be real interesting to see, you know, what he does in a game like this. I'm interested in seeing Herbert against Miami's defense because they're the 4th-ranked defense in the National Football League. So let's see what they do, because Brian Flores, who comes from the defensive side of the ball, is doing an exceptional job head coaching this team. There's no question about it. We're going to see what Tua does against the Chargers. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to reiterate what I've said on several occasions this week, Max. I'm getting very, very worried about Anthony Lynn. You know how big I am on these black coaches getting opportunities because it don't come around every day. But you cannot lose double-digit lead after double-digit lead with a rookie quarterback who's playing that way. If you were losing because your rookie looked like a rookie and he wasn't effective quarterbacking your team, that's very, very forgivable because there's an upside. Herbert is balling. And because he's balling, you're looking at them and you're saying, why the hell are you losing football games? It has to stop.
You know something,
I think
Stephen A?
he knows it. I think the team knows it. We're going to see what Tua is able to do. I'm sorry, what Herbert is able to do against this Miami defense. That's what I'm looking for. Tua, I want him to get a couple of more games under his belt before I really, really judge him, Max.
It's interesting because I wouldn't blame any, no revisionist history. Burrow had the greatest year ever in college, probably ever. Capped by the greatest championship game ever, right? Move over Vince Young. That was even more impressive to me. So I get that he goes first. And two, I get that he goes next because he's been special. We saw it at an elite level for a while in college. Herbert was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago. Remember, tanked for Herbert at first. And then he seemed to regress. So I get why he didn't go first. Stephen A., every quarterback has a weakness. I don't know what Herbert's is. He looks like, I know like usually it's safety first in the draft, check all the boxes. Herbert checks every single box. Maybe he's not a vocal enough leader for some people. Nonsense. This guy has mobility, size, uses his legs. He can pick up first downs or just extend plays and throw down the field, keeps his eyes down the field. He seems to process information very quickly. He's accurate in tight windows. He has a cannon for an arm. It's like laser-guided missiles. He's not only great in the pocket. If you give him time, it's a joke. It's a massacre. He will destroy you. But he can throw off platform under pressure. He checks every single box so far. I'm sure there's a weakness. I don't see it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Max.
He's tall.
Hold on. Here's the thing. When we have questions about Tua, it's about his durability. It ain't about his game. Because He was accurate in college. He's in his first 2 games in the NFL. He's accurate now. 3 touchdowns, not an interception. He's not making mistakes. He's not turnover prone.
No
and
doubt.
we all highlighted that there's an upside. So when you look at what he brings to the table, what I'm saying is, okay, you went against the Rams. You got your feet wet. You went against Arizona. Now you got this game against the Chargers. But again, give him as many games under his belt as Herbert has, and then we might see something special from Tua, because right now the only question is his durability.
Right? No, well, listen, I know like height doesn't mean everything,